Hello everybody, it's Current Cartoon TV coming to you with another Steven Universe Future review. My name is Outlaw and I will be your host today. I'm also joined by Red.
Hello, hello.
And we also have Gundam.
What's up, guys?
So Red, we're going to go ahead and review the next two episodes of Steven Universe Future. The first episode is going to be Snow Day, where Steven and the Crystal Gems get a chance to catch up when they're all snowed in together. So Red, what did you like about this episode?
This episode, I just thoroughly enjoyed. This was such a great episode. As Gundam would say, the colors were amazing, as per usual. I love the theme of a snow day, and it's so fitting, especially when it's airing around this time of year. I really like how when Pearl was making him put on all those layers, it reminds me of myself because I recently moved to Seattle, and I'm not used to the cold, so I am just layering hats and jackets and scarves and trying to stay warm, so that was pretty cool. I do like how, he's changed so much, and it's taken everybody time to get used to it, and sometimes it'll take it'll take others a little bit longer to get used to, so that's just a really good theme. I love the Fusion Stevens. When I first saw the Sugalite, I thought, are they bringing back Nicki Minaj to voice act? I'm like, they got some money.
Cartoon Network does not have that much money anymore.
Yeah. Well, they brought it on, Nicki Minaj was on the one episode, so that must have cost a lot, but totally worth it. So yeah, the fusions were all really cool, their own little intricate twists and designs on it. I love, of course, the Dragon Ball Z references, the serious tone, the anime little twing, little shine.
It reminded me more like Smash Brothers, actually, like when they introduced each fusion all that, it's like Sugarlight joins the battle and all that. So it was like very like Smash Brothers feel to me.
Yeah, that's really cool. Again, they're bringing back so many relatable themes, especially with how busy Steven is. The audience has grown up along with the show, and they're realizing how busy adult life can be. So it's bringing in those themes, it's not Steven just being a kid forever for 10 years or so while the audience grows up without him, but it's him growing along up with us. So I think that's really cool, and it's also a good theme to take some time for yourself, take some time to have fun out of your busy schedule, and just remember what it was like to be a kid, remember how fun it was and carefree. It really motivates you more to do your best in the adult world. Yeah, that's what I liked. There's a lot. It was such a great episode. I loved it.
So Gundam, how about you give me your likes then?
My likes currently for this episode, Snow Day, is, well, I love the color, but there's not much color, actually. It's all white, but that's to be expected. I love the shape-shifting forms of all the gems because it's just so fantastically designed, and the fusions as well. I loved every second of it. It felt, like you said, it was like a Smash Brothers kind of battle royale moment when they're playing tag. I also love the Gems' interactions with Steven. They really are like fans, just like we are. We love the classic Steven, but, he's grown up now, and he's here to stay, and that they have to understand that just the same as we do. I also love the fact that Steven can shapeshift still, like himself. Like, I didn't think he could really do it anymore, and I think they should explore that a lot more in more episodes, just have him shapeshift into different things. But that's what I really loved about the episode.
What I liked about it is more the fact that we get to see Steven on a basic life, like what his schedule is and all that. And he does a lot as a teenager right now. Like, he's pretty much acting like principal of the little homeschool.
Yeah, for like being 16 years old.
Yeah, he's acting more like that. And then I also like the fact that we get to see Pearl actually shapeshift for the first time in the series. She shapeshifted before, but I was in Rose Petals and all that. Then that's when she pretended to shatter Pink Diamond as Rose Quartz. But still, first time for Pearl to actually shapeshift. It was amazing to see her and all that. And I did like the fact that they were playing Steven Tag and everyone joined in, even the fusions. It's like, wow. Seeing all the Circulite, you see Opal, you see for the Alexandrite and Gardonyx. And who knew that they actually could shapeshift as a fusion?
Yeah, that was such an interesting concept, and how, like, with Opal's hair, it is poofy but long, but this one's like more afro-y and solid.
Yeah, that was actually main. And I actually liked how the fact that Steven was forced to join the game. It was like amazing and all that. And like you said with the Dragon Ball Z references and all that, but the person that tagged him was Sapphire, and that was so cool to see that. And he just walks right into it. It's like she saw the future and she knew that not to jump off the lighthouse. So That was great to see and all that. And honestly, it was great seeing Steven actually taking some time for himself and hanging out with the other Crystal Gems. They missed him, and we kind of missed him too, being the little goofball as he usually is and all that, and not being this so serious Steven anymore. It's like, why? He's like, you need to spend some time for yourself and all that, or you're just going to be a dull person. But Red, do you have any dislikes about this episode?
I have no dislikes. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, so yeah, I loved it. No dislikes from here.
And Gundam, how about your dislikes? What do you not like about this episode?
I had no dislikes to speak of. I mean, just like you guys, it was perfect for me. I really thought it was a really well-paced episode, and nothing I can say that I did not like about it. You know?
I have one dislike of this episode. I did not like the sudden art style change when they were playing tag, especially when Alexandrite was actually firing the fireball at Steve and all that. You just saw his like neck just standing out, and it became like more cartoony, I guess.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that was it was a very interesting stylistic choice.
Yeah, it was very disruptive in the flow of things, and it was like, it actually made me step back like, okay, why is he doing that? But that's only dislike I have out of the whole episode. That's the only dislike I have out of that. It's just that one little scene. So Red, what do you give this?
I'm gonna give this a solid 5 out of 5.
And Gundam, how about your rating on this one?
Gotta give it a 5 out of 5.
I'm gonna change my score here. I am also gonna give it a 5 out of 5.
Woo!
So let's go ahead and into our next episode of Why So Blue. Steven has heard rumors of a pair of gems that are still destroying the world. If he can't stop them, maybe Lapis can. So Red, what did you like about this episode?
Now, I like how we finally get to see Lapis after, 8 episodes in? We haven't really seen her that much, but now she finally gets her an episode. Now we're just waiting for Peridot to get hers. So I really enjoyed these new designs for the Lapises. Really cute color hues, like they're just ever so slightly different, but their personality, their hairstyles are different. I thought that was really cool. The song Lapis sings was insanely gorgeous. It was so lovely. I would love to hear her sing more, honestly.
Oh yeah, that voice is so good and all that. I love listening to all the Lapis' songs. She's had so far like 3 songs now, and I love each of them, so.
Yeah, and I love the water fight scene. That was just so detail oriented, and it showed, how powerful our original Lapis, how powerful she is, and how still kind of tortured about, what happened to her from her past. Like, I don't think she's never gonna let that go, and it's totally understandable. It's something that you have to live with. I love that about her. And I love how she said at the very end, restraint shows strength. Patience is strength. And I found that very, resonating.
Very true too, actually.
So yeah, that's about it. It was a pretty deep episode. I really liked it though. It was good.
And Gundam, how about you give me your likes on this episode?
Well, I loved all the colors, of course. I mean, all the blue as well, too. There's a lot of good shades of blue for all the Lapises. I actually love the dynamic between the 2 Lapises and the fact that they love destroying stuff, even though it's considered bad now. And they're stuck in their own ways, and it's really hard to change. And, a lot of people can understand that both in life and just in general. And I really thought they did a really good job of bringing that dynamic together. I also love that not both of them came back at the end, It's really showing that not everyone is equal in the time it takes for them to understand change and get back into oneself going forward.
I do like seeing the new Lapises and all of them terraforming the planet and all that with a different style of hair and the different, I guess, moods of them and all that. You had them like being a little snotty to our original Lapis and all that. It's like, okay, I guess this is how the Lapises actually are and all that.
They were kind of like the mean girls of the Lapises.
And the new song that Lapis sang, Shining Through, was honestly her telling the truth of how her life was on. She blamed the mirror, she blamed fusion and all that, but honestly, she needs to stop blaming things and start living her own life, start moving forward. And seeing our Lapis fight the other Lapis, even though she was outnumbered and all that, she showed her true power and how strong she really is. And that kind of stopped the other Lapises fighting because they're like, oh wow, she's very powerful. But like you said,
restraint takes strength. Patience takes strength. Ugh. I don't have the strength to deal with you.
restraint shows strength, patience shows strength, but she had no more patience to actually deal with them, so that was actually nice. And then during the fight, Lapis realized what she was doing was also wrong, and she actually stopped fighting. She actually stepped away, like, no, we're done.
Like, that was kind of like her old self was going out of control and fighting until everything stopped, but she had the restraint, saying, you know what, this is not how we do this anymore. Like, we're gonna talk like civilized gems now.
And then Steven consulting Lapis at the end of the episode was like, hey, don't beat yourself up too much. you have changed also. You have grown a better person. And then the warp gate shows up and our new Lapis shows up with the little yellow freckles. Side note, that Lapis actually has gold freckles, referring to pyrite that actually is found in real Lapises.
Interesting. That's so cool.
So yeah. So Red, do you have any dislikes?
And I'm gonna say no dislikes from here.
And Gundam, how about your dislikes? What do you not like about this episode?
The only dislike I really have about this episode is the fact that they are in the same place the whole time. Now, I understand that it's more of a mental episode, so it made sense, and I understand that, but it really didn't progress, in my opinion. Like, it didn't feel like it was going forward. But at the end, I understand what it was trying to speak.
I have none on this episode at all. This episode was near perfect and all that, and I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Wow, that hasn't happened in a while. No dislikes from you?
None. And what's your rating?
Not surprisingly, a 5 out of 5 for me.
And how about your rating, Gundam? What do you give this?
Even with the dislike, I still give it a 5 out of 5 because it is still a well-paced episode, even though they didn't really move locales very much. And I thought that they really did a good job with their message to everyone in this episode.
So thank you guys once again for listening to our review of Steven Universe Future. If you guys like that, please like and subscribe and turn on that bell for those notifications and all that.
And don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. We have our links in the description. We have our website, www.currentcartoontv.com, our Facebook, Twitter, our Patreon, and Red, you have some links down there as well.
Yeah, so I got a cosplay page. I'm on Facebook at Perfectly Red Cosplay, and I'm also on Instagram at Perfectly Red.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys.